if it's August, December, or June, for my heart sings a wonderful tune. As long as you care for me.
Thank you very, very much. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for your wonderful welcome. It sure is nice to be with all of you again. I have a kind of a special treat in store for you today in answer to many of your requests to meet some of the members of the orchestra. I'd like to start off with having you get a little better acquainted with the strings in the orchestra. And when we speak of strings, naturally we think of George, because he is the leader and the first violinist in the orchestra. George, could you give the boys over there a downbeat and we'll get a little better acquainted with everyone? Okay, now we're going to start with you, George. Could you give us a little solo? Would you like to hear that little solo from George? Okay, something real schmaltzy, George. Number Jack Benny taught you, eh? Well, George likes the violin so much that he's surrounded himself with other violinists in the orchestra, and I'd like to have you meet some of them right now. Excuse me, George. This is Mr. Boardman, and we never call him Mr. Boardman. That's too formal. We always call him Dad because he's just like a father to us. And the amusing thing about Dad is that I happen to know he voted for Eisenhower, and his first name was Truman. Truman Boardman. Nice to have you with us, Truman. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our friend Emil Briano, a wonderful violinist who has appeared in many of the major symphony orchestras of our country. And I think he's most proud of the fact that he was featured for quite some time with Arturo Toscanini and his wonderful symphony. Nice to have you with us, Emil. And this Italian gentleman is Mr. Walter Borzella. We discovered Walter in San Francisco, where he was doing such remarkably good work with the Betty Hutton and the Judy Garland shows at the Curran Theater. We're very happy to have you with us, Wally. Now back to you, George. Suppose all the strings and you got together. How would that sound? You know something? I'd like to join you. May I? All right? wonderful, George. We'll be back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, and have you meet the feminine member of our organization. But before we meet her, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet a very lovely girl in our organization. She's very talented, too. She has mastered the art of playing 6 musical instruments, but she looks so heavenly at the harp, she usually plays the harp for us. You've met her before, and I'd like you to say hello once again to Miss Marilyn Hecht, our harpist. You know, Marilyn, I've always been fascinated with the similarity between the harp and the piano. But I'm not alone in that respect. Back in the 19th century, Chopin was equally impressed with this similarity, and he wrote a composition for the piano that he called the Harp Etude. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to join Marilyn Hecht in playing the Harp Etude for you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Marilyn. That was lovely. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very beautiful song that was inspired by the simplest form of all music, the scale. George and I have worked up an arrangement which we hope you will enjoy of All of a Sudden, My Heart Sings. All of a sudden, my heart sings when I remember little things. The way you dance and hold me tight, the way you kiss and say goodnight, the crazy things we say and do, the fun it is to be with you, the magic thrill that's in your touch. Oh, darling, I love you so much. The
secret way you press my hand, to let me know you understand the wind and rain upon your face, the breathless world of your embrace, your little laugh and half surprise, the starlight gleaming in your eyes, remembering all those little things. All of a sudden, my heart sings. Funny way you hold your head, the crazy things you've often said, the way your hair won't stay in place, the wind and rain upon your face, the way you hold my hand at shoulder, the way you wrinkle up your nose, remembering all those little things. All of a sudden, my heart sings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to do an arrangement of April in Portugal that features our flutist, Mr. Maury Burkhoff, and our guitarist, Mr. Alan Roos, on the mandolin. April in Portugal.
very much. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. In answer to your request for the music of Rachmaninoff, our arranger, Mr. Gordon Robinson, came up with a very wonderful suggestion. He took several of Rachmaninoff's melodies and blended them together in a very interesting arrangement. But before we play it for you, I'd like you to meet this very distinguished gentleman of music, Mr. Gordon Robinson. Gordy, it sure is a great thrill having you with us. You know, Gordon is more than a musician. He's quite an actor. You've seen him many, many times in our program. Perhaps you didn't recognize him. He's been a policeman, a peanut vendor. You played in the graveyard once, and one of the scenes. Oh, he's done so many different things. He's very, very versatile, and I know you'll enjoy his arrangement of the Rachmaninoff Fantasy.
We would like to share your gracious applause, ladies and gentlemen, with our cellist, Mr. Arthur Kafton, also a former member of the Toscanini Orchestra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a jam session that features on the trumpet, Mr. Norbert Liederbach, on the French horn, Mr. John Grass, my brother George on the violin, and on the bass, Mr. Bob Manners, on guitar, Mr. Alan Roos, and Mr. Robert Sandy on drums, and me. Certainly has been a pleasure getting better acquainted with all of you. And on behalf of everyone in our show, my brother George and myself, I'd like to thank you for writing in to us and making all of these wonderful requests. I've enjoyed playing them for you, as has everyone in the show. So until we meet again, I'll see you in the morning sun. And when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.